Let's take a look at case number 9. Scientists in Japan have devised a new HIV screening test and have administered it to 400 persons. Although 57 of the 400 persons are infected, this new test is positive in only 30 cases. Among the uninfected persons, the test is negative in 300 cases, so we can see that we have some problems here. So let's take a look at this data set. So we have persons with the infection and persons without the infection and the total number of persons tested. So let's look first at the persons with the infection. And we can see that those that tested positive are 30. So these are the true positives. And the persons with the infection that actually tested negative are 27. So this is wrong. So these are the false negatives. Here we can see persons without the infection who tested negative, which are the true negatives, are 300. But those that tested positive, which are the false negatives, false positives, are 43. So let's work with this data set. What is the sensitivity of the test? Sensitivity is defined as the percentage of test subjects who have the infection and test positive for it. In other words, sensitivity equals true positives over true positives plus false negatives. So it says it's true positives, so let's find the true positives. This is a true positive over the true positives, this again, over the false negatives. So this is a false negative. So this is quite simple. It's the sensitivity for this test is 30 over 57, or 52.6%. Okay, what is the specificity of the test? Specificity is defined as the percentage of test subjects who do not have the infection and test negative for it. In other words, specificity equals true negatives over true negatives plus false positives. So first, where are the true negatives? So these are the persons without the infection who did actually test negative. So these are the true negatives over the true negatives. So this is 300 again over the false positives. So where are the false positives? So these are the false positives. So when we say this is a false negative, or excuse me, a false positive, we mean that even though the person did not have the infection, it said they tested positive. So therefore the specificity of this test is 300 over 343. So once again we have the true negatives over the true negatives plus the false positives. So 300 over 343, or 87.5%. Okay, next, what is the positive predictive value, or PPV, of this test? PPV is defined as the probability that a person with a positive test result is actually infected. Therefore, the PPV of this test is 30 over 73. So 30, which is the true positives, over the total number of persons tested, or 41.1%. The PPV is directly proportional to the prevalence of the disease being tested. Therefore, if the disease is prevalent, the PPV of the test will be high. Next, what is the negative predictive value of this test? The NPV is defined as the probability that a person who is truly uninfected will have a negative test result. So let's see who is truly uninfected. Will have a negative test result. So the NPV of this test is 300 over 327. So the number of persons tested was 300, and the persons who were truly negative were 300. So this is 91.7%. What is the prevalence of HIV in the population tested? Prevalence is defined as the proportion of people who actually have the infection in relation to the total population at a point in time. Therefore, the prevalence of HIV in this population is 57 over 400, or 14.3%.